We have more information about the school shooting in Georgia, and unfortunately, you probably already know what I'm gonna say. Let's talk about it. How's everybody doing? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and today we got to talk about the school shooting in Winder, Georgia, which is in between Atlanta and Athens, that claimed the lives of 4 people, 2 students and 2 teachers. And the 14-year-old student is the suspect in these crimes. Now, before I continue, may the victims rest in peace and prayers out to their family. This is most certainly a tragedy. Unfortunately, authorities knew about this threat before it happened. The federales, the local law enforcement, state police, they knew about this. They went and interviewed the student and his father. They were able to find electronic communications that looked like he was going to shoot the school up, like he was threatening the school before all this happened. But there wasn't much they could do because there wasn't no crime that was committed. They talked to the dad. They said, hey, do you have any guns? He said, yeah, I have guns, but they locked up. So what do you do after that? What is before we go in, because we're going to get into a lot of details, but I got a question. How do you actually prevent this? Do you have more security? Do you expel the student just in case they might want to act up? Like, what do you do in this situation? And how did it even unfold? Did he have the gun in class? Did he come to the school after class had started and go on the rampage? They said he had a quote unquote AR style rifle. So I don't see him getting that kind of rifle just in the school like normal when you get off the bus. So how did this whole thing happen? Now, before I go any further, let's get into a couple of clips. First, we're going to see ABC, and then we're going to see another video, I think from LA News, where they're talking about how he was known to authorities already. And of course, I will link to everything in the box. But without further ado, let's go ahead and roll it.
Mass shooting at a high school in Georgia. This is the 8th school shooting of the new school year in the United States. 4 people were killed, 2 students and 2 teachers. 9 more people were wounded, 8 of them students.
We are learning more about the victims of this tragedy and the suspected gunman, a student at the school, just 14 years old. He will be charged with murder as an adult.
Yes, you can be charged as an adult at age 14, depending upon what part of the country you're in. I know back in Virginia, 14 years old, you can be tried as an adult. So it's probably the same thing in Georgia.
Aaron Katersky is standing by with the very latest on the investigation. But first, Faith Abube starts us off on the scene there at the high school in Georgia. Good morning, Faith.
Yeah, good morning to you, Robin. Flags here on campus were flying at half-staff this morning. This community just now beginning to start to process the horrific events that happened inside the school building yesterday. Overnight, officials reassuring them that there was only one shooter and that teenage suspect remains in custody this morning. This morning, an urgent investigation underway after police say a 14-year-old went on a shooting rampage inside a Georgia high school, killing 2 fellow students, 2 teachers, and injuring 9 others.
I never imagined that I would be speaking to the media in my career over something that happened today, the pure evil that happened today.
Officials identifying the suspect as Colt Gray, a student at the school.
He will be charged with murder and he will be tried as an adult.
This student, Lila, told CNN the shooter was in her math class. She says he abruptly left the class and then tried to get back inside.
Okay, so he might have had something. See, all right. Now, where did he go? Did he go outside? Did he go to a locker? Because I'm thinking, how do you get this rifle inside the school? You just go into class like normal and you got a rifle in your book bag? I don't see how that really happens.
They lock automatically, so you have to be let in to come back into our classroom. So I think he wanted to come to us first to shoot us class. He turns to the classroom to what would have been my right, and he just starts to shoot. And you hear like about 10 to 15 rounds back to back. He never really talked. He was pretty quiet. He wasn't there most times. Either he just didn't come to school or he just would skip class. But even when he would have talked, it was one-word answers or just short statements.
Police say calls of an active shooter started coming in around 10:20 Wednesday morning.
What's happening to the high school?
I don't know. Within minutes, they were on campus helping the school resource officers already at the scene.
So you got SROs, that's good. So you have school resource officers, you have a quick response from the police. You have some level of security at the door where you got to get let back in and things of this nature. So how did the rifle get inside the building?
Officers finding the suspect with an AR-15 style rifle. They say he surrendered without incident.
The shooter quickly realized that if he did not give up, that it would end with an OIS, or an officer involved shooting. He gave up, got on the ground.
In this video from our affiliate WSB, police seen investigating the alleged shooter's house for evidence. Authorities identifying the victims as 14-year-old students Mason Schermerhorn and Christian Angulo, teachers Richard Aspinwall and Christina Eremy. Senior Fabian Williford was in class when he heard the first round of gunshots.
Now, to be clear, the young man they showed is not the shooter. That's a victim. Let's be clear. And the teachers, of course, they showed them as well.
The guns sound like balloon popping, but like 10 times louder.
Sophomore Alexandra Romero filming this video from inside her classroom. Officers leading her class to safety.
I saw like my math teacher, and he was all covered. I saw blood everywhere.
10th grade world history teacher Stephen Cramble protecting roughly 28 students when his class was notified they were on a hard lockdown.
There was a second of like, in my head, I just felt death like cross my mind. Where there was a moment where I'm like, I might die today.
11th grader Henry Vanderwalt frantically texting his mother. I think there's a school shooting. We heard gunshots and the police shouting. We're all in hard lockdown. Moments later, texting, I love you. Gwendolyn Cook rushing to the football field where the students were safely gathering, looking for her grandkids, alongside hundreds of other frantic parents.
That's got to be a really crazy experience to go through something like that. You don't know if your child is alive, if they're deceased, if they're injured, if they're traumatized. That's got to be really crazy to go through. Now, like I said from the beginning, they knew about this guy already. Let's go ahead and check this out, shall we?
Now to those developments in the deadly school shooting outside Atlanta today that left 4 people dead. Students, parents, and teachers held a vigil tonight to remember those victims. NBC4's Robert Kovacic joins us in studio with more. Robert?
Colleen, we do have an update tonight from the state of Georgia, and there the authorities confirm the 14-year-old shooter was a student at the school and acted alone with an AR platform-style weapon. We have also learned that last year, when he was 13 years of age, he was questioned by authorities about online threats to commit a school shooting at an unidentified location and an unidentified time. Threats he had denied making. Tonight, shared tears.
Look, they knew that it was him. They knew that it was him that made the online threats. That's why they went to his house and talked to him and the father. And then they said to the father, hey, do you have any guns? He's like, yeah, well, but they're locked up, so he doesn't have access to them. So my only question that may or may not be answered in an upcoming days, weeks, months is, how did he get the weapon? Where did he get the weapon? Where did he get the ammunition? Those questions have got to be answered. And also, how did the rifle get inside the school? I don't think you're going to have even the short barrel rifle in your book bag. I don't think you're going to get past a metal detector if there is one. You have SROs, the officers, you have them right there already at the school. How did this whole thing happen? And what can be done? I'll link to that video and everything else in the box. But what can be done to prevent this in the future? Now, as I close, I want to say this. The issue of gun control is going to come up. But let's just think for a moment, shall we? Okay, what law would have stopped this from happening? Somebody tell me. Listen, there's 320 million within them guns in the wild in this country, meaning in the hands of private owners, just out there in the street, not on the store shelf waiting to be purchased, but in the hands of people. So how do you ban guns? You're going to ban the sale? There's 320 million guns out there in the street. Everybody already got a gun. So what are you going to do? The criminals aren't going to give up their guns. You see the illegal aliens from Venezuela have ARs and handguns and everything else. How'd they get that? You can't pass a background check as an illegal alien. You're not even a citizen. You don't got a social security number or nothing. So how you gonna pass a background check? How are you able to get these things? It's because they're getting them illegally. Listen, the criminals will always be armed. They don't care about laws. The citizenry need to be able to arm themselves. We can't wave a magic wand and say guns don't exist anymore. And then beyond that, if you have an unarmed populace, it's easy to run you over. They could do whatever they want to you if you have no way to defend yourself. So the gun control argument, I'm not buying. How does a 14-year-old who was already under scrutiny of law enforcement, how was he able to get a rifle and ammunition and then go take 4 lives? See, it's just not making a lot of sense. And also, one more thing before I wrap it on up, put the bow on top. In a lot of the high gun control areas, Chicago, for example, you got some of the highest gun violence, some of the highest rates of gun violence. So is the gun control thing really a thing here in America? I don't think so. I think we need more security, more good guys with guns to counteract the bad guys with guns who are going to exist whether we like it or not. And I think I'll leave that right there for now. And what say you? What's your take on this whole situation? What could have been done to prevent this? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments below. You guys know where I'm at. All I can say is tighter security. Security, metal detector, something. It's got to be a way to stop this. Just from a prevention point of view. And that's pretty much it. Beyond that, I don't really see what else can be done. Again, waving the magic wand, talking about let's ban the guns. We got to be realistic with our approach rather than living in a fantasy world that will never, ever, ever, ever come true. But whatever your thoughts are, please let me know in the comments below. And that's all I got to say for this video. If you like what you heard, please comment, rate, share, and subscribe. Peace.